Welcome back to Mailbag Monday. Look at all this stuff. Let's get into it. Let's get right at it. Starting today's Mailbag Monday with this, which says Type-C adapter. I know some of you may be getting a little bit tired of seeing me stocking up on USB-C stuff, but it's going to end soon. I'm going to have everything I need eventually. So this is just a USB-C female to female adapter, and I think is, two of them. And I know you're not supposed to extend USB cables. The reason I got it is because of the end on this, so that I can plug on that and not have to worry if I've got, a cable coming from something to this tester. So that's the main reason I got it. Though I'm sure one of these will come in handy for a few different applications that I had not yet anticipated. USB 3.1, Type-C, female to female coupler, USB-C converter, adapter, connector, etc. Currently selling for $2.25 each. I bought the two of them, so that would be, $4.50 total? Free shipping, woohoo! They claim to be good for up to 3 amps, and they claim to be able to pass 10 gigabits per second. I'm not, as I said, not going to bother too much with the data. I am mostly using them for power. So I guess we'll see how useful these things are in my arsenal of bits and pieces. Let's see if this gets any more interesting. Uh-oh, it says charging cable. Honestly, I just pull these off the pile in the order that they came in. I'm not vetting them. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. This is more interesting than it might look. It is another USB-C male-to-male, but this one has the little meter or fuel gauge thing in here. Let me just get a power brick and power this thing up. Hang on. Put some load on there. Power on. Right. It says 2 watts. And this guy also said, 2.4 watts. Okay, so they're close to agreeing. They're within the precision of something that doesn't have anything after the decimal point, I guess. And this thing claims to be able to go up to 100 watts. Tukai Type-C to Type-C cable, 100 watts PD fast charging charger, USB-C to USB-C display cable for Xiaomi or Poco or Realme or MacBook or iPad or literally anything that uses USB-C power delivery. I got this one. Which one is the 100 watt black? Yeah, that's the one. Cost me $4.80 Canadian for the 1 meter cable. What do we see down here? 100 watt 5 amp digital display cable, aluminum alloy and TPE. Comes black, blue, or brown, 1 or 2 meters, 100 watts, yada, yada, yada. After many bending tests, it can withstand every twist, pull, and tangle. Well then. Well, hopefully this one has a bit more variety to it. It says USB charging cable. I must have been in a real kick when I ordered a bunch of these things. It's just a half meter USB-C to USB-C. Nothing too interesting, nothing too exciting. And it is woven, so I guess that's kind of nice, but yeah, nothing special. Just another USB-C cable. Baseus 100 watt USB-C to USB-C cable for all these different USB-C things, whatever. I got the black one in half meter. There it is. It's a cable. What more do you want? Oh, $2.83. Free shipping. This better not be another USB-C cable. Oh no, it says LED light. Oh good. Something fun. Oh, it looks like a spool of USB. No, it's not USB. Stop saying USB. Looks like a spool of LED lights. What kind did I order? Well, they are USB powered. Okay, so they're 5 volts. Oh, this cob strip stuff again. That's cool. And that looks like probably 5 meters on there. Okay, so let's get some 5 volts here. So I was expecting with this cob style, with the diffusion and everything, you wouldn't be able to see the individual LED chips. On the other hand, it has current limited. So let's crank the current up until it's not current limited anymore. There's 1.7 amps. Okay, there's full 3 amp current limit, but it's actually drawing 2.067. I'm not limiting the voltage. And now let's look at this. Significantly brighter. But yeah, you can just barely see the individual LEDs still. The exposure has adjusted itself, but when you back out and it adjusts itself, that's a little bit closer to what it looks like to the naked eye. So that's kind of cool. And it looks like, yeah, it's got a little peel-off adhesive strip on the back. Nifty. It is a little bit warm. And I assume there are resistors hiding in there somewhere to current limit it. Bob LED strip light, flexible tape lights, home DIY lighting, warm white, 5 volts or 12 or 24 volts. Oh, cool. I got 5 meters of USB powered 5 volt, and I got them in 4000 Kelvin natural white. Could have got cool or warm as well. How much are the 12 volt ones? Cheaper. Okay. But USB powered is handy, 5 volts is handy. Does it make any difference what color temperature you get? Not really. 5 volts is 5 to 6 watts per meter. So multiply that by 5, 25 to 30 watts for the entire strip. Okay. Can be cut every 10 millimeters. That's useful. Viewing angle 180 degrees. Yeah, that'll be about right. I think those are pretty cool. I like it. Let's see if I can manage to have at least one thing in here that isn't USB related. That'd be good. Oh, it's one of those. Okay. 10 amp, 150 watt. Don't know what else. That is interesting. I think that is a constant current DC load. And what's in the box? Power supply. Okay. Power adapter. 12 volt, 1 amp. So that will go there. All right. So this, I think, will be a significant upgrade from this little guy that I've been using for a few years, and I managed to blow it up by doing stupid things. It's designed for 5 volts, and I connected it in parallel with a power delivery which was running the full 18 volts and poofed this thing. And it's not the MOSFETs that I damaged. I'm pretty sure it's the control chip that I damaged, unfortunately. So it's probably going to be almost impossible to repair. But that allowed me to buy a bigger one. Well, I could have done it anyway, but I didn't need one. But now that I do need one, might as well go big, right? So I'm going to have to look at the listing and see if there's any instructions and stuff. But I'm guessing that you connect your load or your source to here and then adjust there. Let's see if we can find the listing and see if it says anything about instructions or anything like that. 150 watt DC electronic load tester, 1.77 inch TFT screen, adjustable testing module, power meter, load charger, 18650 battery tools, 100 volt, 10 amp. Well, on any DC power supply I've got around here, I am not going to exceed its voltage rating. So hopefully this thing will survive my abuse. This cost me $41.06 Canadian with free shipping. That's a lot more than I normally pay for stuff that I throw into the mailbag, but as I mentioned, it's something that I think I'll get a lot of use out of. Ah, good. We have a manual. Woohoo! Well, that's downloading. Supports 0 to 150 volts, 0 to 10 amps within the maximum 150 watt rated. It's got over voltage, over current, over power, and over temperature protection, reverse power connection. Nice. It can meter up to 999,999 milliamp hours. And the same for milliwatt hours. Power it from the DC 12 volts. Yeah, I got that. 4-wire, yeah. 4-button control. I saw buttons on the front. The fan kicks in after 3 amps or over 40 Celsius. Okay. and it will shut down for over temperature protection at 80 Celsius. Good. So the manual, let me just scroll through this and see if I can find something useful. Their first example is just doing a discharge on a battery. So hook up some heavy wires to the amp inputs and some lighter wires to the volt input. And away you go. That's not what I want to do though. I mean, that could be useful in the future, but that's not my intended use case here. After looking through that manual, it's not quite as useful as I thought, so I'm going to have to revert to my usual method of push buttons and see what happens. So step one, plug it in. Oh, chirps. The screen lights up. Okay, it looks just like what the manual says. All right, so I'm just going to connect it to my power supply over here, which is still set for 5 volts and 3 amp current limit. And we will just, I guess, see what happens. I'm just connected to the amp input right now, not to the volts. So we'll turn that on. This guy doesn't appear to be drawing any power right now. It says it's set for 8 amps, which is too much. So we'll go into set mode. That doesn't do anything. Turn it on. Okay, I'm going to have to play with this off camera then and see if I can figure it out. Hang on. Okay, I think I figured a few things out here. First of all, I've connected my power supply to both the amp and volt inputs over here. And yes, I know these wires are super light and I'm going to lose some power in there. I'm just playing around here. I'm not doing a solid test yet, okay? The other thing I discovered is if you double tap the set button, or double click I guess is a more politically correct term, then you can click set to scroll through the different things you can set. So I can go into amps and go minus and take it down. Let's take it to exactly 2 amps and then set, and we are out of that menu. Now if I turn it on, so the voltage pulls down to 4.5 volts, but I've got exactly 2 amp load here. And the power supply shows that it is drawing 2 amps as well, and it's still putting out 5 volts, which means there's about a 0.5 volt loss in my wires, which makes perfect sense because they are super lightweight and they shouldn't pass that full current without some resistive loss. So that is exactly what I was hoping that I could do with it. Oh, and also I adjusted the beeper on the back here with a little bit of blue tack just to make it less annoying. There may be something in the menu that I haven't found yet. I'll worry about that later. It's not my highest priority. Right now, I just wanted to have a constant current load again so that I can get back to testing things properly. And so that I can put this little Finersi through its paces properly, because it has a mode where it can do cable test, and you need a constant current for that. So now I can test all of these USB cables that I've been getting and see what kind of losses they have, what kind of internal resistances they have, so that I'll know which ones I want to use for important things and which one I can use for, chopping up into small pieces when I need a connector. And there we have the contents of today's Mailbag Monday haul. Very USB-C centric today, and I'm hoping that the next mailbag is a lot more varietal than that. Anyway, I have that 0.5 meter just standard USB C-to-C charging cable, this 1 meter USB C-to-C charging cable with the built-in watt meter, a couple of female to female so that I can do inadvisable things like this. No, I'm not going to use it that way. This cool little USB cob strip. This is the second cob style strip that I've got. The other one, you barely could see the difference between the LEDs. This one you can see it a little bit more, but this one you can plug straight into 5 volts. I think the other one was 12 volts, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, those are always going to be handy to have around, and I'm just surprised how often I use LED strips for just random things. And then the winner, the coolest thing and most useful thing, this 100-watt constant current power tester unit thing. That is going to find a very useful place in my shop. I think it's going to be good. Anyway, thanks for watching. Questions and comments down below as usual. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube channel members for helping me pay for this stuff, especially when it's a little bit more expensive. I really do appreciate the help, guys. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Oh, one question that I know you're going to have. Pharmacist orders. I'll be back to beer next week. Don't worry.